Obedience brings the blessings, and we learn obedience through the suffering that we go through. That is how Jesus Christ learned obedience, and we will as well. So, whatever you're going through right now, obey God and leave all the consequences to Him. We're talking about our holy God and holiness. Be holy is the command that we're seeing throughout the Word of God in the Old Testament and also in the New Testament. God is calling us to holiness. And He first called the nation of Israel. Out of all other nations, they were separated, and He called Israel into holiness. Leviticus 20:26. And you shall be holy to me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and I have separated you from the people that you should be mine. God wanted Israel to be His, but in order for them to be His, they needed to be sanctified and purified. They needed to be holy because God cannot associate with unholiness. He is the blueprint and the standard for holiness that we are supposed to follow. And that call to holiness meant that from amongst all of the nations, He selected Israel and marked them as His own, and His requirement was for them to be holy. Another virgin said, "You must be holy because I, the Lord, am holy. I have set you apart from all other people to be my very own." And that setting apart was not due to Israel. It was not due to who they were, but it was based on God's perfect love, on His promise, and on His purpose. Deuteronomy 7:6-8. For you are a holy people who belong to the Lord your God. Of all the people of the earth, the Lord your God has chosen you to be His own special treasure. The Lord did not set His heart on you and choose you because you were more numerous than other nations, for you were the smallest of all nations. Rather, it was simply that the Lord loves you, and He was keeping the oath He had promised to your ancestors. That is why the Lord rescued you with such a strong hand from your slavery and from the oppressive hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. God did not call Israel based on who they were. They were the smallest and probably the most insignificant, but God called them based on His love, based on the promise He made, and based on the purpose that He was seeking to fulfill. In calling Israel and loving on them and helping them, they were an example of God's love, of God's promise, of God's purpose. So other nations, they could see and then follow after this God. Exodus 19:5-6. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Israel, was set apart to be made holy and to be the example of what God can do for a people who obeyed Him, who followed Him, who worship Him. God called Israel first by His love, by His promise that He made, and for a purpose. But He is calling everyone to holiness. God bless you.